What up, y'all? It's your boy Dawson from D&D TV. Thanks for rating, commenting, and subscribing. Everybody who's donated, those of you all who will, I appreciate it. Also, check out my other channel, Dawson Speaks TV. Thanks. Let me get into this story real quick. A young lady I know, actually a good friend of mine, she told me, she said, Dawson, you need to do a YouTube video on this. And I said, nah, I don't want to do anything on it because, you know, that's not really what I talk about on YouTube. And she began to tell me, you have to talk about this because it happened to me. And she was telling me what happened to her and how somebody exposed themselves to her. And she told me that I would be surprised how many women and men have found themselves in a situation where someone was exposing themselves in public. And I said, well, if anything comes up in the news, and I'll do a video on it. And y'all, something came up in the news up in New York City. Man, why I gotta be in New York? Subway sex crimes have just been on an all-time high in New York. And when I was doing my research and reading up on articles of, you know, the incidents that have taken place on the subway, it led to other stuff around the United States, not only in New York, but in Alabama, down here in what y'all call my state, Ratchet, Florida, in Charlotte, in North Carolina, South Carolina, all around over in California, of people who are exposing themselves in public to children, to women, to men, people who are just, it's not even, to me, it doesn't seem like it's mental health, because I know people always want to put stuff on mental health. As one of the news anchors said in one of the videos I was watching, she said, this is strategic. And one of the cops said that too. He said, these people go out intentionally to get a reaction out of people, and that as citizens in the United States that we have to take action on this. And by taking action, that means report every perverted person who wants to show their private parts in public. Now I'm going to let y'all watch these videos, and then y'all know I'm going to come back and I'm going to go in.
Woman fights back after getting attacked on the subway. It happened earlier this morning on the R train in Brooklyn. The woman fell asleep, and police say when she woke up, she saw a man engaged in a lewd act. When she told him to stop, police say the suspect doused her with pepper spray, pulled out a knife, and lunged at her. The fight then spilled onto a subway platform in Sunset Park. Police say the woman grabbed the suspect's knife and stabbed him in the arm and chest. The suspect, 47-year-old Reggie Frank, is now under arrest. Police say he's been arrested 26 times before, including for 2 similar incidents in 2015.
The NYPD saying they're receiving more reports of sex crimes on the subway.
And a new photo is released of the latest suspect accused of exposing himself on the train.
A clear photo of the man accused of exposing himself while on board a downtown 4 train. The picture, taken by a passenger on board, released by police overnight, hoping to catch the man who they say exposed himself as the train approached the Union Square subway station.
The NYPD says this man followed a 28-year-old woman up the stairs, touching between her legs before running into the station. Then he was out of sight, possibly boarding an incoming train. On February 21st, 11 a.m. in Long Island City, police say a 20-year-old victim used her cell phone to take this photo of a man she says sat across from her on a Queens-bound R train, touching himself. When the train pulled into Queens Plaza Station, he ran off the subway. January 6 on board a crowded train pulling into the Chambers Street station. Police say this man grabbed the buttocks of a 19-year-old woman before exiting the train at the Nostrand Avenue station in Brooklyn. So a 61-year-old woman reported this man on board the 2 train January 9th. She told police the man was trying to start a conversation with her before touching himself in front of her, then running off the train at the 233rd Street station in the Bronx.
Rhonda Cooley came across something sinister this morning in Langham Park.
It was between the hours of 7 and 8, and I normally come out each day to get exercise.
And today she wasn't alone.
It was a black male sitting here on the bench.
She said the man was smiling at her, and when she looked again,
he was touching his private areas, very vulgar stuff, so it startled me.
Afraid that he might attack, she sped up and warned another woman walking the other way. That woman said she'd seen the man sitting in a silver Ford Escape. They called police, but the man was gone by the time they got there. And others who come here often fear most for families who bring their young children here and let them go to places like the bathroom unattended.
but I've seen where people drive up and they'll go over to this bathroom way over here, and they'll have somebody sitting in the car with their phone on the lookout, and they'll make an exchange. I'm saying it looks like it's a drug thing.
Cooley often brings her 3-year-old son Mason here to the park to feed the ducks, but now she's rethinking that ritual.
Oh, you might as well kill me, because if something happened to him, you know, that's my little heart. It made me not even want to bring him out here.
All right, y'all, let's go in. Now, first of all, I want to say that reading up on this stuff, it was so disturbing to me because, like I said again, I didn't realize how often this happens. And even down here in Florida, there was a case, and I know everybody say, oh, you always talking about pastors, but I wasn't even looking for this, and it came up just this month of a pastor, this man right here, who exposed himself to a 6-year-old girl, and the 6-year-old girl told her mother and told the police that this man showed me his private parts. So when you have pastors and so-called pillars in the communities who are doing things like this, it makes you wonder that you really, you can't really trust anyone, because a lot of these guys who are doing stuff like this in public, exposing themselves and committing sex crimes in public transportation, a lot of these guys have good jobs. Some of them have wives. They have families of their own. And this is just something, I guess, to fulfill some deviant sexual fantasy that they go out and they do things like this. Now, you all know I'm always telling the women, I'm always looking out for y'all, telling y'all to protect yourself, out there, and carry some type of protection with you and keep an eye on your kids. But on this one, I have to tell the brothers to do the same thing, too, because just in Volusia County a couple of months ago, they did a sting at, I think it was 5 or 6 different parks in Volusia County, and found that men were there exposing themselves in the park. And families who had come to that park and they had seen certain things, they started telling the police stuff, and the police did a sting, and they arrested 18 men from the ages of 28 to 78 years old out in the park. The park where y'all go have functions with families, where people go and they have family reunions, and you have men who are exposing themselves in the park. And they exposed themselves to undercover police officers. And the sting was even caught on video. And the thing about this sting that took place in Volusia County, there go all the men right there, all 18 of them, is that the police were just so taken aback how these men were just doing this stuff out in broad daylight in a park where people bring their kids, where people are out there exercising and jogging. These people are coming to the park to expose themselves, to get in some type of hookup, and some of those men were married. Some of those men had families, and now their faces are blasted all over the newspaper and on the internet for a sting that went down for men in Volusia County who were doing lewd and lascivious activity in a park. Now, the news reporter in the last clip I showed said something that I really want to deal with, and that is for parents and guardians, please stop letting your kids go to the restroom alone. Please stop doing that. There are some sick and perverted people who are in restrooms or who are waiting. And like she showed in the park, they're waiting, seeing who goes in different places. And these people are there to prey on you. They're watching you run. They're watching you exercise. They're watching you walking your dog. And they're waiting for the right opportunity to act out their sexual deviant behavior. Now, in conclusion, I'm going to go ahead and wind down off this topic because it is disgusting. But for the women, and women, I'm always looking out for y'all, but please make sure y'all have y'all protection with y'all. And by that, I mean have your gun, your mace, your knife, whatever it is, your pepper spray, because it seems like this stuff is just on the rise. With the sex crimes are on the rise, and it don't look like it's stopping anytime soon, because we have some sick and perverted people in this world, and y'all have to look out for yourself and the kids, and even with the men too. So until next time, it's your guy Dawson. Let me know what you think about this video. Don't hold back on your comments, just go in. And also, I want to know, has anybody ever dealt with a situation like this where you had to deal with someone who exposed themselves to you, and how did you handle that? What did you do? And also, I want to know, what would you do if you were in that situation, to get a dialogue going? Because I know there are a lot of people who have been in situations like this, and some people are just shocked and they're scared to talk about it. But on D&D TV, y'all know we ain't running from nothing. Until next time, it's your guy Dawson. Take care of yourself and each other, and please take care of yourself. Peace.